Hello, I have discovered the ultimate crunch method, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can do the crunch method yourself. Let me first play an example, and then I'm going to show you how my processing chain looks like. But in the second drop, pretty nasty and pretty crunchy. And let's just have a look at the particular sound, which is basically this one, where my cam is currently plays the 28 group. I think you should be able to see it now. And this contains the tracks. This one, which is basically just the sub and the sound design. And together they are being grouped and have a bunch of processing going on. Without the processing, it would sound like this. Pretty weird. And processing does this. Let's first have a look at the sub. Actually, let's just disable this chain right here. We just have the clipper now, which actually doesn't do anything here besides clipping the signal. And the sub bass just sounds like this. It has some processing going on to just boot the sub fundamental frequency a tiny bit. And it also has some noise. And I've basically just took the sub bass and rendered it so I could place the audio manually and have more control about when the sub is playing, how long it's supposed to play, and everything around that. So it's pretty easy, just an audio sample from the sub bass. And then on the other side, we have the sound design, which is pretty loud. We have some stuff going on here. And the sound basically sounds like this, more or less. Let's have a look at this sound design in particular. I basically just chopped up loads of different sound design sessions and just took the bits I really liked the most. For example, this one, which was basically just an audio file put into a granulizer. Just some sound design sessions I made. Then I took the best bits out of there and placed them and combined them with the sub on top. Actually, all that matters is this processing here, which glues everything together and really makes it crunchy. So let's have a look at this in detail now. I'll just mute everything and then we will enable it step by step. I will just have the raw audio playing basically without any processing on this group channel, which sounds really messy and distorted and totally overblown. And the first step is this multipass, which basically just had an audio follower and just boosted the gain to make it even louder and even more unpleasant. And the next step was the plug data n-spec comp by nasko, which is a spectral compressor. It really helps a lot balancing the sound and getting it loud in a really clean way. Next step would be the disperser. Just detune everything a little bit and get some dispersion going. And I've made this EQ dip just to get rid of this really muddy frequency area. And we will do this a few times in the next steps. And now the magic basically happens, which is erosion. And this added the noise in a really nice way. And of course, you can also play around with the area where the frequency is sitting to get different peaks. But I think in this case, the 1.5 kilohertz work really well. Speaking of kilohertz, the next step is multipass again, which basically just adds a notch filter here again, combined with some distortion. Get some more grittiness going on. Then we add another EQ8 with a notch going on, or basically just a dip, it's not a notch. just a dip right here, just to get rid of this really muddy frequency area. And next step was a parallel chain with reverb and the tri signal, just to get some more stereo width going on. And it really makes the sound appear wider. The wet signal sounds like this. Just has this reverb layer going on with some autopan to control the signal a little bit better and some EQing. Also, stereo is up to 120% right here. And then I've just added an EQ to remove a little bit more of the muddy area and slightly boost the mids right here on the sides and on the mids. Then we have this little thing going on, which is basically just made for transitions. I think so. I should check. Oh yeah, it was made for this little build-up thing, which was sounding really cool. And yeah. And I think the last step was the G-clip. And of course also a washout rack just for transitions, and the G-clip again. And basically it does not matter what you use in the second group as sound design. It just needs to be something basic, for example. You can grab a bass one shot, for example, or a bass loop you really like, or even make some cool little glitches. For example, we can have a listen to this audio file right here. This was just a sound design session with some corpus, I think, which I was modulating here. And then you can just put it into the chain and chop it up. And also, yeah, create a nice little rhythm and have a really nice bass going on in combination with the separate sub right here. Another cool sound I came up with later was this one, for example. Really noisy sound. It was basically just some sounds I've made with some weird plugins. And that's basically the chronic method I figured out myself. Usually I don't like distorted subs that much, but in this case it works. The sub is not totally overblown. I think it had the perfect balance. And also the sub is pretty loud here. Yeah, this is basically all it. I hope you learned something from this little video. Let me know in the comments below. And if you like the song I was using for this little demonstration, make sure to subscribe on YouTube and also follow me on my socials so you don't miss when this tune comes out in the future. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Have a great day and goodbye.